Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here. Hope you're doing well. Well, you guys heard the news, the hysteria around the U.S. default. What I wanted to talk about today is your Social Security and what if America does default. Now, the likelihood of that happening, my gut feeling is they're going to reach a deal, but it's going to come with some compromises. As you guys know, these sorts of things happen a lot when it comes to Congress. So I highly, highly believe they will come. They will come into an agreement of some sort, like they always typically do. However, it's going to come with some heavy strings attached, and unfortunately, you know who suffers is the people that are on Social Security, the troops, the federal workers. Who I'm really worried about is a supplemental Social Security income recipients, because they don't get paid in arrears. So if you're on Social Security, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You might get a delayed. I mean, you might as well go ahead and start preparing for a delayed June check. With Social Security, as you guys know, they pay in arrears. So May pays in June. June will pay in August. I expect and pretty much predict that it will be a delayed situation. Now, if you're on supplemental Social Security, unfortunately, you're going to have to plan. And if you don't know if you're on supplemental Social Security, there's two ways. The easy way is if you're making less than $934 a month. For those of you that maybe didn't have the Social Security credits, didn't really work a lot, maybe you were a legal immigrant here and didn't have a chance to build your Social Security credits up. But anyways, if you're making less than $934 a month, chances are highly, highly likely that you're on SSSI, and those are not in arrears. So your check possibly will be delayed. What would happen, and this is pretty much certain, in my opinion, what will happen is they're manually going to have to push the button for you, manually process these checks. So if you're listening to this and you're on a fixed income and you're on SSI, go ahead and prepare to make some type of financial arrangements, because those checks will be delayed, in my opinion. Now, little disclosure here, I do not work for SSA.gov. I don't represent any government entity. I am securities licensed. I am a financial advisor. This podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need Social Security information, please contact your local Social Security office or go visit SSA.gov and read up on the news there. But this is not Social Security advice. This is for educational purposes only. If you're interested in booking an appointment with us and you need investment advice on your retirement and how to protect yourselves from all the things that are going on in your retirement, give us a call, 813-448-3446, and we will be more than happy to give you a consultation. 1979, the U.S. defaulted unintentionally. If you guys didn't know that, it was actually unintentionally. There was a glitch in the payment processing of getting Treasury bill payments out to their bondholders, and so there was a glitch, but it was rectified in a few weeks. It is scary right now, but what I think what's going on is marketing campaigns. You have Yellen. She's been all over the news. I mean, Yellen has been yelling all over the media. 1 minute she's saying, hey, the banks are highly liquid, they're strong, and then SVP, First Republic, and three other banks, regional banks, have been getting dismantled. And obviously FDIC claims, and they've been in receivership with the government. You can't trust these people. At the end of the day, they're politicians. So you're probably on this podcast like, Carlos, so tell me what's going on, like what's going to happen. And I'm going to get to that. But, you know, the thing is that I honestly believe, and hear me out on this, this is just me thinking, what do you need to own during this? What if the U.S. defaults? It would be it would just be catastrophic. It would literally send the world to a financial gutter like no other before. We're not just talking about U.S. here. We're talking about all the countries that are holding U.S. debt. And there's a lot of them. You know who has us by the you-know-whats. We would literally not just default. I mean, Joe Biden right now is going to Asia on a G7 summit. There's only about 15, 16 more legislative days that you can come up with a deal. And his butthole is literally in Asia, focusing on other countries' issues when we are in the brink of financial destruction right now. Goes to show you, like, where are your priorities at? And what's he going to do? Zoom in from Air Force One and mumble his way out of this? So it really pisses me off that he is spending time in Asia for a world summit with a bunch of, Freemasons and Luciferians trying to plan how they're going to destroy America when America's being destroyed and we need to solve this right now. So it goes to show you that he's over there. His interest is over there, not us. You have 8 million jobs on the line. You have military families that need a paycheck. You have federal workers, and you have the American retiree that relies on Social Security. You have all these beneficiaries that need the assistance from the government. And he's over there playing patty cake with these Luciferian elites. I mean, that right there, guys, that right there just boils me up. Like, oh man, it is very frustrating for me to see that. And I know it is for you as well. It almost gets me violent. So what I wanted to say is that, there is some doom and gloom here. I mean, okay, let's just play devil's advocate here and let's just say that they will default. Some of you that are listening to this, you are swearing that they will default. I don't think they will, for many reasons. Like this, I mean, Joe Biden has been the worst president in the U.S. in history. Carter's a second, but let's just say they do default. There will be no re-election for him. There will be no. I mean, what president would want to have a default on their watch? That would just be cataclysmic. I mean, it would just. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, Trump said it on CNN at the town hall. Let him default. Right. And that's what I love about Trump is that he's willing to go to the threat. McCarthy, he's too busy playing, rhino gamemanship with his political agenda on American backs. But I don't think McCarthy has the cojones to really face what needs to be faced. The other thing is, there's going to be, what I really think, guys, is going to happen is there's going to be some deals. There's going to be some deals that are going, they're going to raise the debt ceiling like they always done, but it's going to come with some heavy strings attached. And my prediction is they're just going to really increase the penalizations on Social Security. That's what they're going to do. So we have $35 trillion in retirement assets right now. When you pull money out of those retirement assets, it's counted as ordinary income. When you're on Social Security, and you pull money from your IRAs, that is considered ordinary income. And so they know, one of the things that they do know is that there's all this money that has never been touched. And so they're going to use this as a bargaining chip to get what they want on both aisles. I'm not saying Republicans are innocent too, or the Democrats, but they're going to have to come up with something. And what I think will happen is they'll just simply increase the taxation and a penalization on your Social Security. So you need to be very, very careful. If you have a lot of money in 401ks and IRAs, you need to start looking literally now about converting that into a tax-free bucket. Getting out of the governmental system is going to be key. So there's 66 million beneficiaries of Social Security. I don't think I have 66 million followers, but I know we have a lot going on this show. But just so you know, 66 million people are on Social Security. Everybody's going to get affected by this. The worst case scenario, which is highly likely, is that the U.S. will experience a downgrade in credit. And what that is going to do is we're basically going to have to not beg, but we're going to have to raise interest rates to make it more attractive so people can invest into the treasury markets as well. As you guys saw during the Obamacare shutdown in 2013, you guys remember that? There was a plethora of things that went down. The first ever downgrade was in 2011. We had a 20% overnight consumer confidence drop off. 17% of the S&P 500 just fell off. Mortgages, auto loans, and credit card rates shot through the roof, and jobs were lost by the droves. And we basically people on the federal payment system, like workers and troops, waited almost 2 months to get checks. If you guys remember that back in 2011 with the first downgrade, that was absolutely terrible. So this is not the first time. I mean, obviously there was lockdowns with Obamacare. You guys remember the lockdowns with Trump, 35 days, I believe it was, on the Mexican border. They did not want to approve it. Man, that was, I think 2018 to 2019 is when that happened. So we may experience a potential downgrade in our credit. So if you're on Social Security, what I'm getting at, guys, is that you need to start preparing yourselves to have the reserves. Like, I know it's hard to save because we're in a very tough inflationary, high inflation, hyperinflation era, but you need to have that reserves because you may not get your Social Security paycheck on time next month. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the truth. So the true side of me says your Social Security will be delayed, but my financial advisor hat says that they're going to strike a deal, and that deal is going to come in the form of higher taxes, higher penalization on your Social Security. McCarthy doesn't want this on his watch. Joe Biden doesn't want this on his watch. And there will be this political gamemanship, this political marketing campaign to increase their political agenda. And I honestly think the American retiree is the one that's going to get hurt and how it affects your Social Security. The scary part is that if you have regular investments, if you guys seen Red Money, my videos on Color of Money, the Red Money bucket, you're going to see massive. This I know for certain. You're going to see some volatility between now and the next 2 to 3 weeks. You'll see some volatility. If they don't get this thing right by June 1st, America will default on their payments. They'll default on paying their treasury bills. They'll default on paying their workers. They'll default on paying bills. And so that just can't happen. Like, it will annihilate the whole world. And some people are saying, yes, we'll go into a CBDC and we'll go into this financial reset. I don't think it'll come at a depth. I think they're going to do it in another way through taxation and forcing you through forcing you with your retirement accounts, and obviously affecting the banks. But this is just one little scare tactic. I really believe they're going to come out with a deal. Kevin McCarthy is going to sell out like he always does. Joe Biden is going to clam up like he always does, but they're going to have an agreement. The media has nothing better else to talk about other than this. And LeBron James wearing a dress. Yeah, that's what the media is talking about right now. It's ridiculous because they don't have anything else to talk about. So to me, this is just a big marketing campaign. They're going to come out with a deal. They're going to raise the taxes and raise the penalizations on Social Security because they got to have a way to pay for it. And so in order for our country to be solvent, they have to raise taxes. And this is what they do. And this is also the crazy amount of printing money and spending money that the left has been doing. I mean, they're funding Ukraine billions and billions of dollars. Hello, we are going to run out of money if you keep on giving them the whole freaking farm. We got problems here in America, and we still have the bank crisis. That hasn't subsided. And Yellen is saying, oh, yeah, there's a lot of liquidity in the market. There's a lot of this. And boom, banks fell off. And now she's saying, oh, well, we have a national ceiling crisis. We need to raise the ceiling. They've been saying this for months now. And now they're waiting to the last minute. And Joe Biden could care less. He's over there playing patty cake with these world elites, these global elites, these Zionists that don't give a flip about America. He doesn't even give a flip about America. His actions speak louder than words. So we need to pray for America. We need to pray for America. We need to pray for godly leadership to get back into the office. We are not to fear. We are not to fear because what? God says he has us in the palm of his hand. So we shouldn't be fearing that right now. And so what are the things that we need to just really be proactive is, yes, definitely buy some precious metals. I don't know if the U.S. is going to default. I know there's a lot of us saying, oh, of course. I mean, look at this, look at that, look at this. You know, it's crazy. And hear me out on this. Everybody rushes to gold and silver. They're converting the IRAs. They're doing whatever they want. Gold and silver shoots up. I totally see that happening. Then there's a sell-off in gold and silver, and they're going back to the U.S. dollar, and so the U.S. dollar gets pumped up again. Because at the end of the day, you pay your mortgage in what? Do you pay it in silver? Do you pay it in gold? Do you pay it in Bitcoin? Do you pay it in rupee? What do you pay your mortgage with? What do you pay your auto loans with? What do you pay your credit card and your grocery bills with? The dollar. So I actually see, believe it or not, I actually see that if people are sucking out the dollars out of the economy and the Fed is trying to go digital, you guys know where I'm getting with this. When there is a scarce source of anything, prices go up. So this could be a really twisted way to pump up the dollar, like almost like a huge psyop. I don't know, but I just see the dollar. I see the dollar going down short term, and then I see it coming right back up because people are going to default on their mortgage payments, and they're trying to take the dollar out of the system. Look for the dollar to possibly go up here. I'm just saying it as a devil's advocate. It possibly could pop up. So you have to diversify, guys. I bought more silver from my guys at Cornerstone. Great group of guys. Definitely reach out to them. They're going to beat pretty much any gold and silver dealer. Try them, test them, call them, see what you... Minimal order to a big order doesn't matter. If you want to diversify, no need to call our office. Just call them directly. 888-747-3309. Again, Cornerstone Asset Metals. Great group of God-fearing patriots. They want to do what's in your best interest. You don't have to pay 20, 25%, 22% to buy and sell like some of these other gold and precious metals dealers. Don't do business with them, guys, please. contact Cornerstone. Let them outbeat the prices. Let them undercharge you and compare your prices with them and whoever is that you're entertaining, and let them know I sent you. So yeah, I honestly believe that they're going to come up with a Hail Mary last minute deal here on a defaulting of a solution on a default. I don't like talking about problems without solutions. So let me just get right to it. The only place that you can guarantee your funds is insurance contracts. I've said this for years now in every podcast. You got to have insurance contracts if you want guarantees. The money in the bank is not a guarantee. As you guys know that. The FDIC is not guaranteed to pay you back within the same month if there is a default on your bank. If your bank goes belly up and they're in receivership of a FDIC claim, there's no guarantee there. The guarantee is written by the government. The government can determine when and how they pay you back. I don't know that timeline, but you guys know the timeline of the government. And I can't speak for the government because I'm not an affiliate of the government. But what I can say is that insurance companies, and particularly life insurance companies that do pension planning, you can opt to get an insurance contract that guarantees a lifetime income, that literally privatize income payments for the rest of your life. Please do not rely on your 401k provider. Do not rely on even your company to give you a guaranteed income in the form of a pension. If you have the blessing of having a pension lump sum, take the lump sum and privatize and secure your guaranteed income by buying insurance on that income. There are plenty of God-fearing, patriotic companies that have been around for 80, 100, 125 years that have been around longer than you and I combined that will guarantee, by the strengths of their reserves and the strengths of the company, that will guarantee you a lifetime income. In a combination of your own IRA savings, retirement accounts, do not get caught with your pants down, guys. The markets will go down. They're going to go down in the next few weeks as they are trying to figure this out. We still have a bank crisis issue. We still have rising inflation. Even though interest rates are cooling off a little bit, we all know this is a marketing hoax because a rising interest rates will continue to happen, and it's going to send a massive, massive surge in the markets. Let's look at the volatility index right now. I'm going to pull it up. So right now the volatility index is at 1799, but now we're looking at the Chicago Board of Exchange one-day volatility index because that's the new one. And it did shoot up today. It did shoot up about 20%. Holy smokes. So in 1 week, it went up 20. In 1 week, it went up. In the past 5 days, it went up just 20%. Actually, in 1 day, I apologize, it went up 19.69%. So 90% of the increase was literally in 1 day. So the fear and greed is there. It's spiking back up. And guys, when this volatility index hits a 52-week low, it's like any stock or any investment, you want to buy low and sell high. But when it hits that support level, it's always going to bounce back like a bouncing ball. It would just skyrocket up. And if that's skyrocketing up like it did today, that means the volatility is there. Fear and greed is present. So you wanna be extremely, extremely careful. The two assets I like are insurance products right now that have reinsurance on their money with cash reserves, having a guaranteed bucket of money to protect your principal. I still like treasury bills for a portion of your money liquidity wise. I don't like having money in the banks right now because banks aren't safe, and there is a ton of problems with the banks right now, regardless of what Yellen says. And I do like some precious metals for a portion of your portfolio. When it comes to monies outside, the only thing that you should have in a bank literally is a year worth of bills. Maybe if you're a business owner, 2 years. Everything else in precious metals and insurance contracts, depending on how much liquidity you need, because liquidity is a big thing going on because if the banks freeze up, and let's just say the U.S. economy does default, what does that look like? What are you going to do? Well, you're going to want to have access to the dollar. I promise you that. You're going to want to have access to some precious metals, and you're going to want to secure your retirement with an insurance contract that guarantees your principal. So you're going to need this kit, and we call it the covenant process of having a little bit of managed money, some precious metals, and some insurance contracts. We haven't even really talked about the ramifications of the taxes that are coming to an IRA near you. And unfortunately, like I've been saying, the IRAs are just a sitting duck for taxation. And this is part of the game where you have these defaults, you have these politicians making up these rules behind closed doors in summits and meetings and legislative sessions. They're increasing Social Security penalizations and provisions. They do it every single year. This is why I believe they're going to come to an agreement, because they're going to attack your IRAs. There's the only way possible. It's the only way possible. They have to raise taxes in order for our country to be solvent, so they can keep on printing money. But what you need to do right now is worry about how can you get out of your IRAs and convert it into a tax-free situation so that you're not being a sitting duck when they do increase the taxation on your IRAs. They're going to have to do it in order to be solvent, in order to help not be in default. That is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but this is my discernment. Use your judgment. I'm just giving you the facts here. The facts is that the U.S. will default by June 1st if they don't reach a deal. And that would affect all Social Security beneficiaries. It will affect banks. We will lose 8 million jobs overnight. The stock market will collapse even more after its 38% drawdown for the past 2 years. It will be devastating. And if you have a retirement in the stock market, what are you doing? Give us a call. Like, you have to protect your money now. This year is not the year to make money. This year is protect your principal. Rising interest rates, banks fails. There will be fire sales. There will be more bank runs, and not even mention margin calls, which will be catastrophic for the financial ecosystem, for the retirement system. Do not get caught in that, guys. Please. I'm sounding an alarm. Give us a call, 813-448-3446. We're not just going to throw a blanket statement at you. We're actually going to give you a custom tailored plan. Myself or my advisor, my consultants, were trained in retirement specifications. We're trained to give you a drawdown protection and give you that ability to implement the America First Retirement Plan, where we can going to keep your money safe. We're going to do business with God-fearing patriots. We're going to keep money here in America. And more importantly, we're not going to do business with, these BlackRocks, the Vanguards of the world, the communist countries of the world. Number 5, we're going to be dealing with a fiduciary that honors you, the cross, and our country. So give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us online at cortezwm.com. But guys, I don't want you to fear. I want you to understand that we've had shutdowns in the past. Remember, like I said, Obamacare, the 35-day shutdown with Trump and the Mexican border. And we possibly will have a potential downgrade. Now, the potential downgrade will still bring a lot of volatility in markets, and we've had it in 2011. if you guys remember that. So just pray for our nation. Give us a call. We do have a solution to help you. Like I said, the storm is coming. I am the weatherman. I can't stop the storm, but we sure as heck can teach you how to survive the storm. So Proverbs 22:7, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a slave of the lender. The reason why I wanted to bring up that verse is many of you may get tempted to take out more credit cards. I mean, just on my desk alone, personally, I'm getting credit card offers all the time, and you'll get them in the mail like crazy because they're still offering, and they know that your income is not being able. Most of America, their income is not keeping up with inflation, so people are taking out credit cards. And I want to make sure that you guys understand that the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a slave of the lenders. Don't be a slave, guys. We're here to promote freedom. And Proverbs 22 reminds us of that. My next verse on this episode is Luke 12:21. Thus will it be for the one who stores up treasures for himself, but is not rich in the matters to God, but on dependence on God. He said to his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, or about your body and whatever you will wear. So God is basically telling us, rely on him instead of the clothes on our back and what we're going to eat. Don't store our treasures here. Make those heavenly deposits and rely on him. This is God's commandment, guys. This is not my words. This is God's commandments. He is basically saying, like he says in Isaiah, I will provide for you. I'm with you. Do not be dismayed. I am here with you. You're in the palm of my hands. Our God is bigger than all this, guys. Our God is bigger than this U.S. default marketing scheme that they're doing. They're going to come up with a deal. Like I said, I'm going to be following this. And what I'm thinking is that your Social Security will be impacted in the future. For those of you that are younger, you should be not worried, but you should be proactive. And what I mean by that is contacting us, because eventually you want to get out of the IRAs. If you already have IRAs, if you're a current client, don't worry about it. There will be solutions in the future, but you definitely want to start converting those IRAs into tax-free buckets so that the government will not over penalize you and overstep. But also, I believe all this is just a tactic to get you into the CBDC, the social credit score that we spoke about a few podcasts ago. I have always said it that the most vulnerable people would be the fixed income people, even people on welfare. I can see the government saying you're not going to get your check unless you don't sign up for a FedNow wallet. Right now, they're saying it's completely optional. You don't have to do it. Just like TSA is saying, like the new eye scanner that they have in Orlando airports and 14 airports across the United States. They're already doing the retina profiling, and I don't know if I trust that, because to me that's going to be the start of the facial recognition cameras like they're doing in China. As you guys know, the social credit score, they got your retina, so that's it. You can't, they already got you. But we don't have to sign up for it. So keep your dollars. Don't hate on the dollar, guys. Keep the dollars, The dollar is still worth something. The government wants to take those dollars and make it all digital so they can control you. So load up on precious metals, load up on cash. I like cash, believe it or not. Use cash. Try not to use your debit card or credit cards. Use cash as much as you can. It actually helps the business owner and forces the government to say, hey, your CBDC is not going to work because I have tangible dollars. And we're going to use the dollar because it's legal tender of the United States of America. So use your cash. It helps your local small business owner, and it helps prevent the CBDC, or at least delay it. and then contact us for your retirement. There are some solutions here using our insurance program, using our gold provider, and using a liquid bucket for monies that really are not safe in the bank anymore. If you are going to bank, like I said, find you a credit union that doesn't invest or doesn't do mortgages or commercial lending, and that is backed by the NCUA. Those are going to be a lot safer than FDIC banks. To me, I don't, in my opinion, I don't like FDIC backed products. Like back in the day when I was a stockbroker, retirees would be like, well, I want FDIC secured products. Now I'm saying I don't even recommend FDIC insured products. I want insurance guarantees. I mean, FDIC, they only require 1 to 3% of your principal in a reserve account, and then they say they're FDIC insured. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So all I'm saying, this could be a segue into a marketing gimmick into the CBDC, forcing us into a digital banking system, which is owned by the government, the FedNow program. Obviously, this is perfect timing. Perfect timing. June, July, FedNow, boom, is here, obviously. Perfect timing. I mean, do you guys really think all this is coincidental or this is planned? Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I read all the comments. And just so you guys know, I am BudFox7 on the Rumble channel. So that is me. And I read all your comments. Some of them I could care less about. Some of them are really nice. So I appreciate the nice comments. But even the haters, thank you too, because you're giving me the views I need. But anyways, God bless you guys. I wanted to share those quick scriptures. Sorry, I don't have the best news. If you're on Social Security, just be prepared to have a month or two extra of savings so that you can cover it. Now, the good news is once all this gets subsided and if there is a missed Social Security payment, the government is typically good about manually sending those back payments back. I don't even think, as much as I can't stand Biden, I don't think he wants this on his watch. So I know he's going to be motivated, even though he's over there in Asia, not taking care of America. But I know he's going to be motivated to get this done because it will be abysmal screw up. Like you thought Afghanistan was bad. This will be like 10 times worse than Afghanistan, because now the whole world will collapse if this doesn't get extended. And chances are it will get extended. I really don't see it not getting extended. Like I said, my financial advisor hat tells me that. My truth movement, my truth hat, is a little worried here. Is a little worried here. But my truth hat is basically saying that they're probably going to have a background handshake on something that's really going to hurt America, and that is the retiree chasing after their IRAs and the 401ks, because all that money has never been taxed. And everybody that has retirement accounts are going to be hitting Social Security. And so that is going to be a massive withdrawal from the Social Security fund that is already losing money. So they got to figure a way to keep Social Security going. They got to figure a way to keep all these things going. I don't see Medicare or Medicaid being affected here. But what I do see is the payments to the doctors, the payments to the providers, those will also get delayed too. That is pretty much certain. So do not fear, guys. I'm here to help you, to guide you. Like I said, I am securities licensed. I am a financial advisor. Everything on this episode is not financial advice. If you would like a consultation, give us a call, 813-448-3446. You can download our free guide at americafirstretirementplan.com, or you can visit cortezwm.com. But I actually wanted to say something real quick. We've been getting a lot of feedback on switchmyproductsusa.com. More than ever, guys, we don't want to do business with companies we don't like disgusting companies like Walmart, Target, Costco, Amazon. If you're spending at least $70 to $85 a month at these stores, buying your deodorants, your candles, your coffees, your household consumable items, then you might as well go and redirect your buying power with a wellness patriotic company. And so go to switchmyproductsusa.com. There's a webinar. Definitely watch the webinar. If you're interested, someone from my team will reach out to you and they'll help you shop and teach you how to shop from this Patriot store. And that way you can save money, and the products here are actually doing good for the economy as well as your household. And you're not promoting these carcinogens and these nasty chemicals in your homes that are causing terrible, terrible problems in your body years down the road. So visit switchmyproductsusa.com. That's my self-sponsor. Great. I'm very, very happy to be partnered with them. Switchmyproductsusa.com. The link is in the description, as well as go ahead and visit CortezWM.com for your retirement planning needs. I hope you found this podcast very, very informative. Now, if there's some other topics you would like for me to talk about, email me at info@CortezWM.com, and I'll be more than happy to do some research and talk about whatever topics you guys want me to talk about. God bless you guys, and I'm out of here.